want to talk
What
about this.
do we want to talk
I want to
about?
talk to you about this Crystal Lake.
Oh, God.
So
Well, hold on. Let's get the Crystal Lake part out of the way first.
Yeah, we need to, because I was ready to go last week. I had a rant saved up. Let's see if I can get back to that.
Yeah, well, I should say we had to postpone. Sorry for that.
No.
Generally, one of us is dealing with sickness in the house. This time it was my turn. So
essentially what's happened with the Crystal Lake show that was going to be on Peacock is A24, the studio behind it, has said they are changing directions with the show. They're still going through with the show, but Brian Fuller is no longer the showrunner. So
Kevin Williamson's no longer involved, I don't think.
Yes.
It sounds like a reset, basically.
I'm going to read what Fuller said.
Yeah.
Because this got me riled up, and then something else got me riled up. And I've got a bit of a mini rant here.
Here we go. Let's go.
This is Brian Fuller, showrunner, creator of like Hannibal. Worked on Dead Like Me.
Yeah. What?
American
was he
Gods.
Bates Motel? Did he? No.
No, he's not Bates Motel.
Okay.
So adapting classic horror is something I have experience with. These shows require a vision that elevates and transforms, as well as delivers what audiences have come to expect, which is an ambitious and risky endeavor. It requires people to take the leap with me. When it works with Hannibal, the results can be powerful for the storytellers and the audience. I couldn't be more proud of my work with my co-showrunner, Jim Danger Gray, that is a great name, and I were able to accomplish with our brilliant writing staff despite the challenges we face. For reasons beyond our control, A24 has elected to go a different way with the material. We hope the final product will be something Friday the 13th fans all over the world will enjoy. Okay, a very, I'm just going to say, you can read into that statement how you will. I don't think it's particularly, he comes across as a little bit annoyed, I think, with what has happened here. I want to say this to Mr. Fuller, because at some point, I think you have to, maybe Brian Fuller needs to look in the mirror a little bit when it comes to stuff like this, because now we have had American Gods. He was removed as the showrunner, that series, after 1 year due to creative differences. Was it Amazing Stories, the Spielberg reimagination requel that was going to be on Apple Plus, never got off the ground. He left in 2019. Star Trek Discovery was removed, or left showrunner 5 or 6 episodes in. The Kurtzman took over for him. Now this on top of it. And you know what? There's a common denominator here. And I want to say this. So with something like Star Trek, it's a big franchise. And you have someone like Alex Kurtzman, who obviously had his own vision for the series, the franchise as well. And I think you see that playing out. So I can see how something like that may lead to creative differences. And I understand him being frustrated, and I understand parting of ways. This here, though, I'm sorry, when I think of A24, I do not think of creative, unfriendly studio at all. What the hell are you talking about here? A24, they release stuff that may be too director and creative friendly for me.
Sure.
I'm like, hey, why don't you step in on some of this boring shit? Come on, guys.
Yeah.
So
I don't get it.
And then on top of it, so I got to hear about this. And then Kevin Williamson, who I like, and his episode sounds awesome. But now they're out there, Williamson's talking about his episode being an hour-long chase sequence.
Which, his movie Sick is basically a
similar to that.
feature-length almost chase sequence, yeah.
And you know what? That sounds awesome. I think that would have been great. I don't want to hear about it, though. I'm so annoyed hearing
You're
about
bumming
it.
me out. Yeah.
You're bumming me out. And also, you know what? It's very obvious the show is just never going to happen.
No, it's never. That show's never happening.
Yeah.
No.
So as far as the creative differences go, you know what I like? I like shows that get made. And Brian Fuller is someone I can't trust at this point to get... His vision was probably awesome. This,
sure.
The Williamson episode sounds so
great.
cool.
The whole thing about talking about a mother's grief and all that sounds cool. All right.
I would have loved to have seen it. The problem with Fuller is I can't trust him at this point to get any of this stuff off the ground, because he's proven
for whatever reason
he can't work within whatever system he has to work in. And I'm sorry, but that is a talent. And I see guys like James Gunn is an example of a guy who is able to work with his vision and get it through that studio system and still smuggle in ideas using like he got his own voice across in the MCU, where the biggest complaint is nobody has a voice as far as
you have to wonder like why, given what happened with now Hannibal was a different beast because he was on Hannibal the whole run, I think.
Right.
It just got canceled after a few seasons.
It still had a decent run, didn't it? Was it 3 or 4 seasons?
I think it was 3 seasons.
Yeah.
But like what happened, like Star Trek, and then all this other stuff that he's been involved with, like where it was either cut short or never came out. Like, why does he keep going for property stuff? Like,
exactly, yeah.
Why not just make another show that's your show? I guess.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
If he's got such a strong vision, go like, and I guess so. This is something that I will maybe have a little bit of sympathy for. Just
sure,
creatives in
and
general.
who knows? Maybe he's a super passionate guy, and he just says, you know, he can't. He might not be a jerk about it. Maybe he's just like, I don't.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know him personally. I get a little frustrated with stuff like that.
I get it.
And I lost it.
I'm sorry. No, but I think what's funny is you and I both talked about this. I don't think on the show when it was announced, and like there's that meme of that guy who's like the first picture of him is he's like, and the second picture is like, you know what I'm talking about? That one meme? Yeah.
Yes.
He's super overjoyed, and then he's like super sad.
Yes.
And it was like, you know, Friday the 13th show, Crystal Lake coming to Peacock, and it was the smile face for us.
Yeah.
And it was like, Brian Fuller is the showrunner, and we're both like, because in the back of our minds, it was like, I like Brian Fuller. Like, I like the stuff that he has done that I've seen.
I know he's a fan of Friday the 13th.
But also, as soon as I see that name, I go, this ain't happening.
Yes. Yeah.
It was like Guillermo del Toro, like with as a director for a long time there, where it was like every 5 seconds, it was like he's attached to this. I'm like, that's
not going to happen.
No.
So I guess that's what I mean. It's tough for me to get invested in anything he's a part of at this point. And now he's kind of like muddled up two of my favorite properties. Oh, that's where I was going. So sorry. I do have some sympathy for him and pretty much anybody in general right now with just the IP mania that's out there. Because you know what? If you want to make some money in Hollywood at this point, and you are a name, like you have to find a way to attach yourself to an IP. I think at this point, really,
you're right.
So like, I do get it in that sense, and I know he's a fan as well. But like,
yeah. In this instance, yes.
These studios now are just pumping these IPs, and it is tough to try to break through to a bigger audience right now if that's what you want to do, and it seems like that's what he wants to do. Yeah, you're right. Maybe he would be best to, like, I don't know, make a movie. You know what I will say? I guess I should give him this. He produced that Queer for Fear documentary that's on Shudder. That is excellent. So he did get that through, and I think that's a very good documentary, a 6-part documentary, I believe, that's on Shudder now. So there you go, Brian Fuller. Yes, you were great there. That's a great stuff. You got that made. Good. Now, speaking of pumping IP.
And we're just sad because it's another blow.
Thank you.
Anyway, that's...
Yeah, any final words about Crystal Lake?
No, I mean, like many potential Friday the 13th projects in whatever form, movies, shows, video games, I will forever wonder what it would have been. And I'll just be I'm kind of numb at this point.
That's the thing is I sent it to you and I just texted you LOL when I saw it.
I just don't. I get the legal stuff and all. I get that, but like we're sorted now, right?
No. So let's talk about the Jason universe now, because this was announced today. I'm gonna pull up. So this was an IGN exclusive. I have the Bloody Disgusting story on this, so I think I'll just read it off. This is John Squires of Bloody Disgusting. I think he does a good job of kind of sorting through this. While we wait to see what happens with A24 and Peacock's planned Friday the 13th TV series,
Nothing.
Crystal Lake, currently undergoing a showrunner change, Horror Inc., which is which side is that?
This would be Sean Cunningham.
This is Cunningham, has announced Jason Universe. That makes sense now that this is the Sean Cunningham
Because
side.
they don't have Friday the 13th. Well,
Yes.
they do.
And this is such a Cunningham huckster move. As announced, Jason Universe via an exclusive report from IGN this afternoon, which is said to be the dawning of a, quote, new era from the original owners of the
Hold
Friday
on
the
a second
13th
now, though. Hold on. Here's the funny thing, all right? I don't know if you recall, but the origin story for Friday the 13th was them essentially putting out an ad in a newspaper. There was no script, no plot. It was literally just, it's a horror movie called Friday the 13th, and with like a phone number or like a contact to try and get investors interested. There was no plan.
Yes.
Notice how this shit gets announced
Yeah.
with no real actual information behind it. Like the day after the news hits, or like the week after the news hits about this A24. It's hysterical. It's classic. Classic Cunningham.
What does this mean, you ask? Yes, I do ask.
Yes, I'd like to know.
IGN details in their surprising report today, new Friday the 13th activations will span a ride.
What does that mean?
I don't know. This is either put together by AI or like some not the story. The details
Press
from Horror
release.
Inc. Yes. Activations will span a wide range of platforms from entertainment, games, immersive experiences, merchandise, and more to be announced throughout 2024. So you're right. They do they have some things percolating, but they have nothing finalized,
no,
and
zero.
they're going to.
They're trying to strike while the iron's hot. Look, hey, Victor Miller ain't getting it done. Now look what we're doing. That's basically what it is. Like,
So for decades, Jason shocked and thrilled audiences who kept coming back for more. We are excited to work with Victor Miller and Mark Toberoff on new projects we'll announce in the coming months.
so they are working with Victor
Yeah,
Miller. Interesting.
Yes, said Robert Barsmanian, president of Horror Inc.
Okay, so they're that's good.
Yeah, we're focused on honoring the legacy while elevating the fan experiences and appealing to today's horror audiences in new ways as we develop new ways to watch, interact, and engage with the Jason universe. Absolutely. When I think of the Friday the 13th movies, I'm like, I don't call them Friday. I call them the Jason universe.
Here's what I will say. There have been talks for a while now about a new Friday the 13th video game that's been in development apparently for a while by a higher budget team than what we got. Because that game did really well.
Yeah.
And I think
Yes.
bigger game studios saw that and are probably like, okay, like...
Yeah, and here's what here's what Squires goes on to say at the end. I'm going to skip to the end here. From what we gather, they will be joining forces for the Jason universe. Means the team has access to any and all existing elements of the Friday the 13th franchise. Same goes for the Crystal Lake series, which all three are involved in, but it doesn't mean they can make any new Friday movies. And I think the reason behind the movie side of things is, I think what I read is New Line is somehow still involved with the rights there, which is weird because I didn't even know New Line still existed, to be honest with you.
It's weird because the only thing that Victor Miller has the rights to are the U.S. rights to the first movie.
Right.
Or to the script, for, like the so it's so weird.
So whatever.
But it sounds like Victor Miller and Sean Cunningham's people are like fine. Like,
well, I mean, at this point,
they all want to make money.
They have to be at this point, right?
Yeah.
So, like, whatever the rights, we're not getting a new movie. And what's frustrating about this as a fan is, like, I think that's the only thing we want. I'll watch a TV series, but it's not my first choice of.
I'm happy that we'll probably get new action figures finally, because they had to stop, like, the NECA had to stop doing them after Part 7. We never got, because I want a Jason Takes Manhattan one. Like, I want the gross, like, black, slimy, Tarman-looking Jason. They stopped making those. Like, I'd like to see, like a NECA Jason X and stuff. So that will probably be able to happen, I think, now.
Right.
A new video game, sure, why not? Yeah, cool. I'm down. But, like, I want a movie.
That's all we want.
I want to go to the theater on opening night. I would never go to a movie on opening night anymore.
Right.
But I will do it for that. Because I want to be there.
Yes.
So,
yeah, so that's what we want, and the fans are not getting that. Now, this Crystal Lake, yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. It feels...
I'm not saying Peacock's not going to make something, but whatever they're making is going to be nothing even remotely related to what...
The video game side of things, I don't want another what do you call them, asymmetrical style game.
Yeah.
I've had that. I had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
I wish that like if that's the case, I just wish that would keep existing unless they're releasing some sort of polish on that game, which I think takes away some of its charm. To be honest with you,
it was so much fun.
So like, sure, Jason. Apparently, the Jason Universe Twitter account is following one other account, and it's the Fortnite account. So it sounds like Jason will be Fortnite, which I can't get excited. Like, I don't play Fortnite. I'm not gonna pick up Fortnite.
I don't care.
I don't
like,
get no. Like, I'm not mad.
I got no hate for. I don't know anything about it.
Me neither.
Nothing. I know it's popular.
And
I know that they throw a bunch of like literally name a character, and they've been in Fortnite at this point.
And so this is. I was thinking about this.
That's what I know.
Well, Michael Myers, was in it too.
Was he?
Yeah, the last Halloween, I think they released a Michael Myers.
Ninja
skin.
Turtles were just in it.
Yeah. But I think this is the way we're talking here. I think is an issue that this franchise is going to run into, and it's kind of an issue that I think might be bubbling up for a lot of these older horror icons. Is like you and I are talking about this, where I'm going to be 40 soon, and very soon, and like I'm aging, and like I don't know what the hell Fortnite is, and I'm thinking like. How many kids know these Jason movies? And like, are we getting to a point where like they're missing have they missed the boat on this? Have they missed the opportunity?
When's the last Friday the 13th movie that came out?
That's the other thing. 2008?
I mean,
we're talking like 15, 16 years now. He's not fresh in people's brains.
Kids that were born that year are almost graduating high school.
Right.
They've gone that long without. Now, I'm not saying that kids can't discover who Jason is. There's plenty of kids that go back and just like we went back and watched movies from the 60s and 70s.
But like, we're seeing like
they can discover that stuff, but it's not.
Universal's been trying now for a few years to get these Universal monsters back up and running through various different styles of movies, and it's not connecting
because we went without for so long. That
yes. People don't,
because I'm not just going to run out and see any Dracula movie that they make.
Exactly, and like you have all these other Dracula movies out there that aren't Universal movies, and like you're right, it's not in people's minds. It's not. This is not a character. Like I think we might have. I'm worried we missed the moment here for Friday the 13th. And the longer and longer this goes on, it's kind of the same thing with Freddy. Like I don't know if. Like
the thing is they squabbled for so long about this, and I get it. I understand there's a lot on the line. I'm not trying to disparage either party here. I get it. They spent so much time squabbling in an effort to get what they deemed was there, that thought was theirs. That I do think that they're going to wind up. It's going to cost them in the long run.
Me too.
Because it's not. It's. I would not be shocked if at some point if this. If the Crystal Lake thing doesn't work out, which I don't think it's going to, the show.
Right.
And this Jason universe doesn't blow up the world, which I don't think it's going to. Because if you don't have a movie behind it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That needs to be your flagship thing. I think at some point they're just going to I think that both parties will just go, we got to sell the rights and just
and move on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is
and it might be a good thing. I don't know.
Yeah. Like the immersive experience reads to me like they're gonna have a Horror Nights house, like a haunted house at Horror Nights, and that's cool and whatever. But like that's another not.
It doesn't mean anything.
No, and like I can see that because like they've got an in with Universal because Peacock is Comcast Universal,
and that's great. That's great.
But you know what? Universal Studios is probably hoping like, hey, maybe we could tie it to that show that was supposed to come out like this year. But anyway, so I can see that. But like you're right. A lot of the stuff reads like. It just reads like nonsense corporate speak.
It is.
Activations.
Because it is.
What is
it? It means nothing.
Yeah, we're going to blue sky this and come back to it later. Like, what are we talking about?
They're trying to make some money off the property because they lost a lot in court, I'm sure, both sides.
Yes.
That's what it amounts to. I mean, I don't it's too bad that the franchise feels dead at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Minus like old heads like me and you who will occasionally buy a Friday the 13th t-shirt, like it doesn't feel like it's a thing. It just doesn't. Yeah, the creators killed it. So
people recognize Jason, they like Jason, but I don't.
Yeah, it's an iconic thing, but
I think it's going to be. I'm not saying I think it's going to take some work to get him back.
Yes, I think, however, you know what? If Jason can't pull it off, I think it's Roy's time to shine.